Everybody, and welcome to the Bastards YouTube show. This is Nick and Terry. We hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July and is enjoying, hopefully, some nice fireworks. I do have to tell you, I'm sorry that the Red Sox were not able to give you any of that today. Terry and I are here to talk about just why that was such a downer of an afternoon today for the Red Sox. Red Sox lost by a final score of 6-2. Terry, we just don't have any starters. We don't have any openers. We just don't have any consistency right there. And you are playing a much better Texas Rangers ball club. This was one of the most predictable losses of the season. That's my take. I don't know what your take is.
Yeah, I mean, with the Yankees, we got away with one. I think we had Ort and someone else piggybacking, the bullpen. And that's just not going to cut it with a team like the Texas Rangers, who are leading their division. I think are currently the top offense right now in Major League Baseball. And they put up runs today pretty quickly. And we never climbed back in it.
I think the only other team that might be in contention with the Rangers just on offensive production would just be the Atlanta Braves. But that's National League and everything right there. I was more so impressed with just the overall look of what the Texas Rangers for a team have. I mean, they got Evaldi, but just outside of that, just a team that's from top to bottom has a lot more depth and a lot more pieces to the puzzle. You can see why this team is the number one team in the AL West right now. Just from what you saw, just from a very short sample size from this afternoon for this game. On a positive note, we do like to talk about positivity as well. Scorching hot Jaron Duran stays right on top with a wonderful performance again with 2 hits on the day in the leadoff spot. Do you like him in the leadoff spot? Is that his place?
I would probably keep Verdugo at number one just because we know it works. And we didn't have a leadoff guy for a while. And then I'd probably tinker with Duran at number two. But how can you not love what he's doing? I mean, I think his 2 hits today were doubles, correct? I know the
Yep, they
first
were.
one was. So that
Triple. He had a triple today.
oh,
He
a
did have a
triple.
triple. His
Yeah.
first triple of the season, which I was very surprised to find that information out. With his speed, I would have thought he would have already had a few.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I forgot one went right out to the heart of the triangle there, and it was a triple, but he that was 8 straight hits for him, and 7 of the 8 were extra
For extra
bases.
bases.
So
That's impressive.
dude is just on fire. It's not a small sample size anymore. I think we can safely say this guy is a bona fide major leaguer. And how can you not love it? It just feels like it's an automatic extra base every
We've
time.
talked about him, I feel, in this past week on our shows more than 50% of the time. Each time we're talking about the Red Sox, probably even a little bit more. That shows me right there a guy that's showing he's made adjustments. He wants that opportunity to prove his worth in Major League Baseball, and I tip my cap to him. Keep it up. Let's hope for a great second half for him as well. Justin Turner also stays very consistent up at the plate. Another 2 for 4 day. Just a pro's pro. Gets the job done when needed. But I feel like outside of that, it was just another big pile of meh. Christian Arroyo threw out a 2 for 4 day. But again, you get Cassis not doing much. You have David Hamilton still getting playing time at short, which thankfully is coming to an end with Yu Chang coming back later this week. But it's not pretty. It's not pretty on what you see right there. And more ugliness showed its lovely color today. Bernardino was the opener. I was surprised that he went out after the first inning. And you know who comes through the second inning? Mr. Long Ball himself, Mr. Kaleb Ort comes in, and it's a 3-run shot. There's your ball game. I don't understand how this guy is still in Major League Baseball and yet is still pitching for the Boston Red Sox. That shows you how little depth they have.
Like Lou Merlone said in the broadcast, I mean, you didn't expect, of all people, Mitch Garver to be the guy who assassinated you early, but he had a couple of their biggest hits and scored a run in one of the middle innings. But so goes the 2023 Red Sox, and pitching, was my biggest concern. It continues to haunt us. I mean, Heimblum built a rotation around the idea that Chris Sale would pitch 150 innings, and then
Yep.
that didn't happen. And then Tanner Houck got injured. I had a feeling he could, because he's never had that high workload. Very unlucky with that comebacker, but still. Garrett Whitlock, another guy who hadn't really, logged a ton of innings at any point in his career. That's bit us, and there's just no depth. There's just no depth. I mean,
I was looking
Chris.
at the box. I was just looking at the box too for what the Rangers had. Every single one of their starters reached base. Only one, nope, two players did not have a hit. That was Semien and Garcia. Everybody else had an outstanding afternoon on the day. And the one that really stood out to me because he had such a down year in his first year with the Rangers is Corey Seager. Here's a guy that's just showing why the Rangers invested in him last season. I'm sure they wish they had it from last year, but what you see right now is legitimate reasoning on why they signed him for a big contract.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's hitting around 350 is what I saw in
Yep.
one of his at bats, and I haven't really paid him a ton of attention. So quietly having probably one of the best years of his career, on base over 400 right now, and that's, I think, still a contract that's not going to age well,
No,
but they'll get as much as they can out of him early on. And
a lot of those
before,
long terms. Oh, go ahead.
I know we're getting ready to do tomorrow's matchup, but let me just say this: nobody is talking about the Rangers being, a potential World Series threat.
No, they're
you
really
bet,
not.
you
Very
better
quiet.
start taking them as a threat.
They got some big quality, good major league players, both offensively, defensively, pitching. Even I'm going to throw Nate Eovaldi in there. Big game Nate. I mean, there's a guy that I would want in my postseason team with having at least a proven track record. They have that now. And then their manager, Bruce Bochy, we talked about him. 3-time World Series champion from 2000, 2012, and 14 with the Giants. They've got it all right there, and they could definitely cause some havoc in the playoffs when they get there. We've got tomorrow's probables of John Gray going up against Brian Bayo. Do we see Bayo getting the victory in this one?
Man, I mean, Gray has not had a very good career, and I thought it was a dumb signing for the Rangers to give him that 4 or 5 year deal.
Yeah.
But I, I'm still going to ride the hot hand of Brian Bayo, and this is his biggest test so far. He probably does have at least one start against Tampa, but this is a robust offense with a bunch of either borderline Hall of Famers or bona fide Hall of Famers in their lineup. So I'm excited to see what he does, and thank goodness this is a primetime game.
I know that helps too. When they're right in that middle of the afternoon, it can definitely tinker with your schedules on everything, especially with mine from everything today. I want consistency. I mean, I think it's unrealistic to see him kind of go out like he did last time. I mean, that start that he had, he was cruising for a no-hitter. I, I just hope he puts up at least 6 innings, 3 runs or less, and keeps us in this ball game. I do not see the Red Sox, though, winning. I actually have the Rangers sweeping. I'm going to hold to my prediction on that. I don't like to change my predictions midweek after one game and everything. So I think the Rangers are going to get the better hand in this series, and they're going to get the win tomorrow. Anything else we'd like to add before we wrap?
I think I'm good.
Let's see if they can get back on track.